It started in early 2019. I was 26, broke, and trying to finish my graduate thesis while working part-time for a small moving company in Ohio. Most nights, I'd sleep in my car behind a gas station, cheaper than rent and safer than home. One afternoon, my supervisor, Dale, came in grinning like a man holding bad news. "Got a big one tonight," he said. 3 floors, furniture, boxes. Everything's got to be out by morning. I asked where. He just said 2 words: Cider Mill Road. Everyone groaned. Even Curtis, the guy built like a fridge, muttered a curse. That name meant one place: the Anderson house. Abandoned since 2004, when Tom and Rebecca Anderson were found dead inside. Official cause: carbon monoxide poisoning. Locals didn't buy it. They said the husband went mad, killed his wife, then himself. Others said witchcraft. I didn't care. I needed the paycheck. We arrived around 9:30 p.m. The place sat on a hill, choked by trees and mist. Paint peeled off the walls like dead skin. The porch sagged under its own weight. Even from the truck, it felt like the house was staring back. When Dale pushed the front door, it opened before he touched it. Inside smelled of mildew and iron. Wallpaper hung in tatters. Every step we took echoed like the floorboards were whispering. "Basement first," Dale said. "Boxes down there." The basement stairs were steep and slick. My flashlight beam shook over rows of boxes, all labeled Anderson Family, Personal. Ryan, the quiet new guy, crouched beside one. "These are sealed," he murmured. "Yeah," I said. "So? Didn't cops clear this place out years ago?" He was right. The tape was fresh. I opened one. Inside were photographs, hundreds of them, all of the same house, different days, different seasons, always from the same angle. And in every photo, a dark shape stood in the upstairs window, always watching. Curtis yelled from above, "Hey, someone's up here." We rushed upstairs, flashlights cutting through dust. Nothing. Just furniture under sheets. Silence thick enough to choke on. Then Dale pointed. Wet footprints, bare feet led up from the basement. "Old pipes," he muttered, but his voice was shaking. Ryan and I went upstairs to start packing. The hallway was lined with portraits, every face scratched out. In one bedroom, a cracked vanity mirror leaned against the wall. Something was carved into the glass. "He's still in the walls." I felt a chill crawl up my spine. Ryan whispered, "Do you hear that?" At first I didn't. Then, a soft knocking from inside the wall. 3 slow taps. He leaned closer. Another knock. Harder, right where his ear was. We bolted. Downstairs, Dale and Curtis were arguing. Then the truck's headlights flickered and went dark. The power died. The house fell silent. Curtis grabbed his flashlight and stormed out into the rain. Minutes passed, then 10. No Curtis. Dale sighed and followed him. That left me and Ryan alone. The basement door creaked open. It swung slowly. No wind, no reason. Something stepped out. It looked like Curtis, but wrong. His head tilted at a strange angle, water dripping from his jaw. His eyes were pale gray, unfocused. "Curtis," I whispered. He didn't speak, just opened his mouth, and black water spilled out. Then he lunged. Ryan and I ran. The front door slammed shut on its own. Upstairs, heavy footsteps began to drag across the floorboards. Then Dale's voice came from outside. "Guys, open up!" We pounded on the door, shouting. Through the side window, I saw Dale standing in the rain, but his face was blank. Behind him, the real Dale was still walking toward the porch. That's when the lights exploded. Every mirror shattered at once, glass raining down like ice. We crashed through the kitchen window and hit the mud hard, running until the house vanished behind the trees. When the police came, they found only Dale's truck. No bodies, no prints, just puddles of water and hundreds of photographs scattered across the floors. Every picture showed the house, and in each, 2 new figures stood in the upstairs window. Me and Ryan. Ryan left town the next morning. I followed a week later. But sometimes I dream of that house on Cider Mill Road, the windows glowing faintly through the rain, and a figure still standing there, watching, waiting. Let's move on to the next horror story. My name's Tom Weaver, and I've been driving trucks since 2006. I've seen every kind of road in this country: desert, snow, mountain, and storm. But there's one I'll never drive again. Highway 191 in northern Arizona. On a map, it's just another desert route. Truckers, though, call it the Devil's Highway, because it used to be Route 666. They changed the number years ago. Didn't change what it is. It was late November 2020. I'd picked up a load of medical supplies in Flagstaff, headed for Tucson. An accident on I-17 forced me to reroute through 191, longer, emptier, slower. At a small gas station, the clerk asked, "You sure you want to take 191 tonight?" I laughed. "I'll be fine." He just said, "Stay in your lane." Don't stop for anyone. I thought he was joking. By midnight, I was deep in the canyons. No signal, no lights behind me, just road. Then, near mile marker 143, I saw her. A woman on the shoulder, wearing a long gray coat, standing perfectly still beside the guardrail. No car, no movement. As I passed, she turned her head. Her face was blank. By the time I hit the brakes and checked the mirrors, she was gone. Not walking, not hiding, just gone. About 20 minutes later, my CB crackled. The channel had been dead all night. Then a man's voice, soft and distorted through static. "Southbound. You missed her." I froze. "Who is this?" I said. Static. Then, "You should have stopped." I switched the radio off. My palms were slick on the wheel. The road dipped into a canyon. I kept driving, but the same landmarks started repeating. The same crooked mile marker, the same rock wall. When I checked my odometer, it hadn't moved in 10 miles. Then I heard it. From the back of the trailer. Someone knocking. I climbed out with my flashlight. Nothing behind the truck, but on the dusty trailer doors, written by a finger, were the words, "Turn around." I turned the rig north, heading back the way I came. But the road didn't change. The same dead coyote on the shoulder, the same twisted guardrail. Then headlights appeared. A pickup truck parked sideways across the lanes, hazard lights blinking. A man stood beside it, waving both arms. I slowed, rolled down the window. "You all right, buddy?" He looked at me, eyes glassy, voice flat. "You can't leave. The road won't let you." Then he turned and walked straight into the canyon, into blackness. When dawn came, I finally saw a gas station sign. Old, rusted, faded. I pulled in, shaking. Inside, a man in a trucker cap sat behind the counter, reading a yellowed newspaper. He poured me coffee and said, "You come down 191? "Yeah," I muttered. "How'd you know?" He smiled faintly. "You've got that look." Some roads don't like being forgotten. When I blinked, the counter was empty. The cup was gone, the door shut, and from the dust on the floor, it looked like no one had been inside in years. Next thing I remember, I was parked on I-10 outside Tucson, sun blazing. My logbook showed 9 straight hours of driving. Dispatch said my GPS vanished from the grid for 6. When I checked the trailer, there were small handprints in the dust. No footprints around the truck, just the prints. I still drive for a living, but if a route sends me near 191, I refuse. Sometimes, on quiet nights, the CB hums with static, and I hear a woman's whisper, "Southbound, you missed me." Last week, a young driver laughed when I warned him about that highway. He called me superstitious. I told him, "Not scared, kid. Just tired of hearing the same voice he didn't get it. Not yet. But someday he will. When he sees her standing alone in the dark, waiting for someone to notice she's still there." Let's move on to the next horror story. I never believed in haunted houses. Not really. I was a cop, or used to be. You see enough real monsters on the streets, you stop worrying about the ones under the bed. That changed the winter I was transferred to Hollow Creek, a small town 3 hours north of Kansas City. After a shooting left me rattled, my captain thought quiet duty would help. They sent me there to fill in for a detective on leave. Chief Tom Willis met me at the tiny station with coffee and a forced smile. "You'll like it here, Detective Harris. Peaceful town. You'll stay at the department house on Old Mill Road." He hesitated before adding, "Don't mind the stories." The department house was an old 2-story place hidden behind tall oaks. It looked harmless enough. White paint peeling, furniture covered in sheets, air thick with dust. My first night, I called my sister. She laughed. "Try not to go crazy in that old house." I laughed too. But the next few nights, things changed. It started with faint thuds upstairs. Footsteps in the hallway when I was alone. Old houses make noises, I told myself. Until one night, at exactly 3:15 a.m., I woke to footsteps right outside my bedroom. Step, pause, step, then silence. The air felt charged. Just as I relaxed, something cold brushed my shoulder. I turned the light on. Nothing. That's when I noticed the door at the end of the hallway, the one that had been locked since I arrived, was slightly open. Next morning I tried the handle, still locked, but one old key on the kitchen ring fit perfectly. Inside was a small bedroom, torn wallpaper, boarded window, and a rocking chair facing the corner. A children's book lay open beside it, Goodnight Moon. On the last page was a crayon drawing of a family, father, mother, little girl. The man's face was scribbled out. When I told Chief Willis, his smile vanished. That was the Parker house. Wife and daughter died in a fire back in '96. Father drank himself to death later. Locals say the girl's still there that night. The footsteps came again. Then the rocking chair began to move on its own, slow and steady. I ran upstairs and for a split second saw a small figure sitting there. A girl, head bowed, hair covering her face. When the light flickered, she was gone. I set up my phone to record audio overnight. The next morning, at 3:15 a.m., a faint child's voice whispered, "Where's Daddy?" After that, everything escalated. Cold spots, doors opening, the rocking chair appearing in different rooms. I dug through police archives and found the original fire report. No smoke in the girl's lungs. She hadn't died from the fire. She was dead before it started. The following night, I dreamed of a man's charred face saying, "You brought her back." When I woke, the bathroom mirror was fogged. 3 words were written across it. "Where is Daddy?" I found a hidden basement door behind the pantry. The air inside was freezing. On the floor was a soot-black circle surrounded by melted candles and a burned photograph of the same crayon family. The man's face burned away. Then I heard breathing. A whisper, soft as wind. "Daddy?" A small cold hand gripped mine, and then a deeper voice growled from the dark. "You can't have her." The smell of smoke filled the room. I ran until I reached my car. 2 days later, the house burned down. Fire marshal said the flames started inside the walls. Through the smoke, I saw a small figure in the upstairs window, a girl waving. Now back in Kansas City, I tell people small towns have their ghosts. But some nights I wake around 3:15 and hear faint footsteps in my hallway. Slow, bare feet on wood. Last night I turned on the light. Nothing there. But the mirror beside my bed was fogged again. And across it, faint letters spelled 3 words. I found Daddy. That's all for today. If you liked the video, please make sure to subscribe. See you guys in the next video.